Are you able to hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Gaurav. So
Yeah, we can hear
I
you.
just covered that slide just to
Yeah,
save the
just move on to
time.
the fourth one. Move on to the fourth one. I'll be explaining the case and you move on to the practical. Yeah. So these files are being fetched by the from the server and it's getting to your user's end. Now you suppose if you are sending one HTML, one CSS, and one JavaScript file, and the HTML is creating the structure, CSS is styling it, and JavaScript is adding the magic of frame. So everything's getting loaded. But see, you could have rules like you could have, suppose you have 1,000 lines of code, but you can also have it your files optimized to show only 100 at a time. So the browser will read those files and interpret that, and accordingly it will apply those things. Okay. So
So
Shivansh,
what's
move
the
on.
difference between DNS and the hosting server?
Like, do not go into those things right now. It will get difficult for
You
me
can
to explain
understand
it.
that a DNS server is just like a phone book from where you give the URL and it returns the IP address.
Okay, so if you want the explanation, then see this thing. You know about geolocation, right? Suppose I want to go to DPS to be far.
Yeah.
I could say that in two ways. Either I could say 254 Shantipali and that stuff, or I could also explain in the terms of longitudes and latitudes, right? And like that would be more accurate, that would be more precise because that's globally acceptable, and like, satellites can recognize that. So just think of it that the domain, so amazon.com is your 254 Shantipali, like it's the basic name, and the DNS is processing it and converting it to that latitudinal and longitudinal thing. Like it's not exactly that, but as an analogy. And then it's looking for those files on the basis of this, and then it's sending it. Okay. Do you understand it right now?
Yeah. So basically, it converts it to a type of valid address. Yeah. Computer
Val,
computer
val
language.
recognizable. Yeah. Shivansh, move on to the next slide. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions.
So Shivansh will be taking over this part now. Like he'll be
Yeah,
going
yeah.
over with it. So Shivansh, you can begin now. I'll be muting myself.
Just, yeah. So clear the annotations. Okay. So to start with, the first thing is HTML tags. So what you can think of HTML tag is like suppose
Shivansh,
you
open the ID. Like, show them practically.
okay. Before that, I want to do one thing. All of you make one folder for Tech Club. Like whatever we will be doing, do it in that folder only. Otherwise, all the files will be messed up.
Also, in case the meeting ends suddenly, join back because we are hosting more. We have a lot of people, and the meeting's timed. Okay.
No, the meeting is extended to unlimited time.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
So you must be familiar with this. If not, let me tell you one thing. Like this is the
Can
extension
you
tab.
give an example how to create a folder as I've not used VS Code earlier? Just a little
Yeah, okay.
example.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Shivansh, one minute. Shivansh, let me show them how to install VS Code first. I guess that was missed out because I got disconnected. Could you like stop
Okay.
sharing? I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah.
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 So I'll be talking about certain things right now. W3 schools, like we've uploaded a presentation earlier where we cited some websites and reference materials. So this is, I open this page for you all. Like you have HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like you can see these things, right? So if you want to learn CSS, then you have well documented stuff over here. You have examples, brilliant examples. Like it's explained in the very best way. Just consider, like so Chashma told this line last year. I'm repeating it. This is basically your NCRT. Anything which you have to do with development, you can find over here, like the basic stuff. You can see a lot of things over here. all of this won't make sense right now. Just learn the basics and then keep trying out things. You'll be getting a hang of it. It's very easy to learn from here. Like you have to put in effort, but it's recommended you do that from here. Then we have CodePen. Okay, CodePen, you can both write code over here and also you can get code. Suppose if you want to create buttons and other stuff, which and like you want to add certain designs and designs are not coming to your mind. Millions of other people have also thought about this thing, and like some of them, which are professionals, have uploaded their bit of code over here. So suppose I write button, and then like sign up. I guess these people have changed their policies a bit. So like if you sign up, everything will be visible to you. It should be. So like you can see the different examples of buttons, right? If suppose I want this one, I'll be clicking on this one, like just a minute. You have the code over here, right? You can just copy the code and then use it. But one thing you need to keep in mind that these are licensed things. Like if you open this and you scroll below, you will see this license. Like people tend to ignore this stuff. Do not do that. It's recommended that whatever you do it legally. So it's recommended to give attributes and all other stuff and just see, like if you're developing a piece of software, you do not want anyone else to copy it and claim it to be theirs. You do want due credit. So just keep in mind that if you're doing it, if you're making a website and copying someone else's code, then just give them credit if they're asking for it and stuff. Okay, now this one, Visual Studio Code. Like I guess many of you told me that you had problems installing it, right? Okay, there's a difference between these two. I'll be telling this. Most of the people don't get this correct. We have we have Visual Studio, which is the and it's different from Visual Studio Code. These are two different things. I'll show you once. Visual Studio. Yeah, see this one. You can see like even the colors are different, so it's recognizable. These are two different things. Visual Studio is much more complex. You do not need it right now. Do not use it. Just install Visual Studio Code. It's lightweight, and I guess not all of you has access. All of you have access to very great computers because you're students, right? So if you're using a 4 GB RAM computer and if you're using Visual Studio, chances are you are going to mess everything up. Just some certain things. Soham, yep, it's true, but no, not now. Yeah. So Visual Studio, just check your system. If you have Windows, then you'll be getting this one. If you're using Linux, then you'll be using this one. And if you have Mac, you will be using this one. And I also posted links on the announcements channel in Discord, making it clear that what steps you need to follow to install it and use the basic things. So please do that. Like you need to try out things on your own because it's very important as a developer that you be aware of how to deal with problems. GitHub, like first I need to Discord. I guess most of you have Discord now because you took your interviews over there. In case you haven't, make an account and just Google how to use Discord. It's very simple. GitHub. Okay, GitHub is it's basically based on Git. Now Git is a I'll not explain it actually. GitHub is basically going to help you to collaborate with people. It is also going to help you with version control. Like you see these things, right? Like suppose if I talk about Microsoft Teams, which is a very bad application, believe me, it will crash a computer beyond recovery. MS Teams, you will see point something, right? Like these are we have these things, right? Also, like if you talk about Bootstrap, we have Bootstrap 5 dot something. Like I guess Bootstrap beta is the latest version. So these things are basically version controls. Version controlling is done to like updates and all other stuff. I won't be going deep into that thing. So if you're developing something professionally or even not professionally, if suppose you have a website for calculating, or if suppose you have a website for just displaying things and you're making updates, but you want a ledger which is recording that stuff. Like you do not want to get rid of that old code because it might be helpful. Maybe your new code is not really working with everyone's device, so you're screwed. Now you want the old code, but if you have deleted it or you have actually overwritten it and you don't have a copy, you have to make it again, and it's a real big hassle if it's a very big project. So we have version controlling, where basically whenever we make something big or even a small update, we are recording that, and then we are using a copy of it somewhere else, and then we are working on that one, so that if we want the older version, we can access it readily. Basically, Git is the best solution to this. Like if you know Git, you are it's the best thing I can recommend, because Git can be used without internet, but if in like it can be used both with it and without it. But like just think out, GitHub is based on Git. So in case you find Git to be difficult, just create an account on GitHub. It will also automatically create it on Git for you, and then once that's done, like you'll just go to sign up. Let's say sign in, create an account. You'll be doing certain things, and some people made this error, like do not create repositories and other stuff right now, because you do not need them unless you're making any project, or if you're making a readme profile, or if you have any doubt, then you can GitHub desktop. So the problem with GitHub desktop, some people told me, is that their devices are not supporting it. Like so it's better if you use GitHub, like the website version, or if you can actually use the desktop version, that's the best thing. That's the best alternative actually. So yeah, that's one thing. Like that's all about GitHub right now. We won't go deep into it because it's not really development right now. It's for version controlling and all, but it's very beneficial. Do check out GitHub. Like they have a very big community. There are projects which you can contribute to and stuff. So